So we're back with Deletta in the makeup studio, and we're going to go ahead and do a slightly dramatic eye look. By slightly, I mean she can still wear it out to events and music events. So it's wearable, but it's got a little pop. So the color I decided to use is Mamba. You can tell by the name that it's going to have a little pop. And Mamba is a burgundy with some copper flecks. And this is going mostly in her crease. Now, because Deletta doesn't show a lot of eyelid when she opens, the eyeliner is really going to be her lid color. So we're just focusing the Mamba all the way across. We're not doing two tones here and here because it won't show up when she opens her eyes. So if you have thin eyelids, you don't want to even worry about the dual tone look. You can just sweep your darker color, or if you want to use a lighter color in your crease, which is another fun option we can explore sometime. Just take that same color all the way across and take it all the way up to the brow so it'll show. Can you open your eye? So you see how it's showing right here? It's not showing anywhere right in here, but it's showing right here. So you want to make sure that you take it all the way across when you're doing your eye color. Alright, and then we'll do the other side. Alright, so again, all the way across, and if you have a good amount of powder on your brush, you want to start it up here, not in here, because it's a lot easier to blend towards the inner part of the eye. And if you want to have the color to be dramatic, you don't want to blend it in too much. And as you can see, this has the copper flecks I was talking about. That's the fun stuff that we want to keep. So you don't want to blend it out too much. Okay. So because Deletta's eyelids are on the thin side, which is very beautiful, it gives you other opportunities for color and for an approach. So my idea when I thought about colors for Deletta was to use kind of teal. So I'm going to use turquoise, a color called tourmaline that has a deep green layered with teal overtones, turquoise overtones. And again, it's kind of a bling bling color, which Deletta can get away with because of her skin complexion. She can wear bling blings and they're not going to overwhelm her. So I did a wet liner, and we're just going to wet line all the way across, but with a thicker line, because this is really essentially going to be her eyeshadow for her lid. So we're wet lining all the way across, and we don't have to worry about that boo-boo right there because we can fix that. And once it's dried, we're going to go ahead and play with it a little bit. So I'm doing a thicker line than I would do if I was just doing an eyeliner, but I'm doing the wet line technique. So I added water to our versatile powders. Okay, and when you do this, you really have to let it dry, so I'm just going to have to let her just relax with her eyes closed for a minute. And we're going to buff this one out while it's still wet. We're going to buff out the boo-boo. And the reason why you want to let it dry is because if she opens her eyes right now and it's still wet, it will actually stick to the upper part of her crease, and it'll... So you can see how bright it is right now. Once we buff it out with the Q-tip, it's not going to be as bright. It'll be a little more wearable. Okay, Deletta, why don't you try to open your eyes real quick, and we'll see if I waited long enough. So you can see how bright that is. That's a little brighter than she's going to want. So now we take our Q-tip, and we're going to buff it out until it looks like a wearable green. And again, this color is called tourmaline. It's from our gemstone collection, so it's definitely a jewel tone color with a little bit of pop. And you can see if you keep it wet lined and you don't buff it out, it's much brighter. So if you want that bling bling and you want some pop, just don't buff it out. Leave it like that. Let's see. Okay, now let's let Deletta take a look. Now this is more of a dramatic look for an event. It can be toned down, just a little blending.
I like that.
And we're going to finalize her look with a highlighter. And just for some contrast, we're going to use a copper highlighter instead of a white highlighter. So this is number 51M in the Versatile Collection. Highlighters are wonderful. You just have to use them with discretion. But you're going to see how this is going to pull her whole look together. So this is a semi-matte gold, basically, and it just looks like skin when you put it on. And if you want, you can put a little bit up in here, on the inside of your of your eye area. Gorgeous.
I like